Hey everyone. So, we're finally at the last Shrek movie, and you're probably thinking, well, my hopes aren't high after that last one, and this one seems like it's just trying to capitalize on marketing bullshit again, so it can't be much better than the previous one. Now, as much as I can understand that approach, Shrek Forever After is surprisingly a lot better than I remember. Now, while the first two are strong, and the third one is a total shitfest, the fourth one closes things off with a solid message. It starts with Rumpelstiltskin reading about Shrek's happily ever after, and he just wants revenge for the king and queen not signing away their kingdom to him, and he promises he'll get it one day. So it cuts to Shrek and Fiona, and it's about 1 year later since they've had their kids. And for Shrek, every day starts feeling the same, and he gets less and less time to himself. We're shown that since he had his family, Shrek hasn't been the same ogre he once was, and people now come by his house as a tourist attraction, which I think anyone would absolutely hate. Like, I would just start firing at their tires if they came by my house.
Do the roar.
You know, I'd rather not. It's my kid's birthday party.
Do the roar.
You know, I'd rather not. It's my kid's birthday party.
Do the roar. Do the roar.
Let me set you straight, Butterpants. An ogre only roars when he's angry. You don't want to see me angry, do you?
Do it.
Oh, good. What happened to the cake?
Trust me, it's an improvement.
Sorry. Anyways, it's the kid's first birthday, and there's just a ton of noise and chaos going on, and Shrek just gets fed up with everyone, and out of his anger, he lets out a mighty roar.
I love you, Daddy.
He then leaves, and when Fiona talks to him, she feels that he's in the wrong, which, situationally, I think he is, but for him, it's his breaking point for how his life's been going. He just wants a moment of peace, and for things to go back to how they were, and this is what he struggles with for the movie. He says some very hateful things to Fiona, which he does come to regret, but it's a pretty rough start for Shrek. Fiona says that he has everything, and Shrek just can't stop to see that. He then walks off, and soon runs into Rumpelstiltskin. He charms his way into making a deal with Shrek, which is an ogre for a day. Shrek then trades away a day from his past so he can live a wonderful day as an ogre that he once was. Rumpel then takes away the day he was born, creating a new world where Shrek never existed. Shrek has his happy montage, but soon realizes his home no longer exists. He's captured and taken to Rumpel, and he tells him his family doesn't exist anymore. Shrek manages to escape, and he takes Donkey with him. And at first, Donkey doesn't know who he is, but he decides to help him anyways. Shrek learns about the exit clause, which is to have true love's kiss, and that will revert everything back to normal. He then sets off to go find Fiona, but when he arrives at the castle, it's empty. I mean, no lava, no dragon, and no Fiona. Shrek and the audience are shown a very quiet and somber moment where he sees how long and hard it was to be stuck in the castle. When Donkey runs off, he gets caught in a trap, and Shrek ends up following him to a secret ogre resistance. I think it was pretty cool to see a large collection of ogres, since until now we've literally only ever seen two. Fiona soon arrives, and Shrek tries many attempts to kiss her, but she just doesn't know who he is, and I think anyone would react to that. We see that Puss in Boots is fat, and while he doesn't play a major role in the movie, he's there to help Shrek along with trying to make Fiona fall in love with him. While you have Shrek and Fiona training, they finally start to bond and have a nice moment together. I'm honestly glad this movie doesn't say, oh, they love each other by the end. And the movie never forces it, which I think is great. And Shrek is constantly doing things and showing how much he knows about Fiona in order to show her he is her true love. And it's not just a one and done thing. It's great to see Shrek struggle and have to work in order to be worthy of her again. The ogres then make a plan to attack Rumpel when he is traveling by, but Rumpel hires a bounty hunter to kidnap the ogres. The Pied Piper is only there briefly in order to capture Shrek and Fiona, but unfortunately they're the only two he manages not to get. Before he showed up, Shrek followed Fiona and started telling her that he knows her best and that he is her true love. It's another good scene between them to grow the relationship further, and it's done pretty well, considering this world doesn't know who Shrek is. Rumpel's secondary plan is just to get everyone out there and says that anyone who brings Shrek in gets the deal of a lifetime. So Puss, Donkey, Shrek, and Fiona are the only ones not taken. And it's at this point we get the darkest moments. One of these moments is when Gingy is pitifully trying to take down Shrek. But once Shrek sets him down, seconds later, Puss just straight up eats him, which is pretty fucked up. Like, this is one of the main fairy tale creatures we've seen for 4 movies now, and he's just straight up eaten out of nowhere. Like, he was a character that had a life and friends, and then he's just fucking gone. And yeah, it's pretty funny, but like, holy fuck, does this movie just gloss over the fact that he just died? The second scene is, of course, more respectable, which is where Shrek and Fiona kiss, but it doesn't work. And you could definitely tell it wasn't going to, because there still wasn't enough of a connection. Fiona says some really traumatic things, and I'm glad they finally expressed them. I mean, we didn't ever know the severity of how it was to live a life stuck in the castle, but this movie finally sheds light on that, and I think that's what makes Fiona a great character again. It's definitely her second best movie, in my opinion. I think it's just really interesting that it really showcases and focuses on her pain and breaking free and becoming her own hero. It's an amazing story for her, and I know they wouldn't give a ton of scenes around that, but I think I would have liked it. I mean, the toll it took on her mental and emotional health to be isolated for over at least a decade in an empty, quiet, cold stone castle had to be devastating to live through. And like she said in the movie, she finally gave up on a Prince Charming who was never going to come, and she saved herself. Which is just a phenomenal example of female empowerment over whatever Disney is trying to fucking do. And this movie was made, well, over a decade ago. Sometimes you just can't recreate or copy paste good storytelling, Disney. Okay, sorry. Back to the movie. Shrek then turns himself in and uses the deal of a lifetime to free all the ogres. But with Rumpel's scheming loopholes, Fiona wasn't freed. They're then trapped in a pit and given to the dragon, who would have killed them if it wasn't for Puss and Donkey. So they came up with the idea to Trojan Ball Rumpelstiltskin. And, I mean, that would be menacing as hell if a fuck ton of ogres bust out of a giant ball and just started attacking everyone. I mean, we even see the Chimichangas guy launching them during the battle. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think the witches would have had that sitting around, which means he had to cram it inside the ball when they were getting ready, which could not have been fun.
Do it.
But in the end, they beat Rumpelstiltskin, and right as things start to settle down, Shrek starts to fade. As the sun rises, Shrek has an amazing final moment with Fiona. While the movie has had a very mild tone and hasn't ever gotten too serious, I feel like this moment out of context is one of the most heartbreaking scenes of the whole franchise. Shrek has lived a life that led to friends, family, and love. And with just one mistake, he lost everything. And as much as he tried to get it back, he was too late. And for a few moments, Shrek dies. And he's gone. But of course, for the sake of the story, their last kiss saved him and brought him back to his life, where he is finally grateful for everything he has. Shrek has a fantastic line at the end that helps bring the story full circle, and they have a final happily ever after. I think in this movie's alternate reality, they did a good job with the characters. It goes without saying that they added so much depth and effort into Fiona again, but I think Shrek also had a valuable life lesson as well. I think since the last few movies have been about Shrek getting his happily ever after, that this was a good opportunity to shake things up. Shrek finally had everything he wanted, a wife, a home, kids, and friends, but what he didn't have was the internal growth to really appreciate it, and I think looking inwards for this film was the best choice they could have made with Shrek. Otherwise, I just think it would have been a stupid alternate reality movie where they try and throw in a fuck ton of stupid marketing shit, to be honest. Rumpelstiltskin was kind of a fun antagonist, and he really had the personality flair to pull off someone compelling enough to win. He was small but evil and tried to scam people into his deals, and I also think he had a great voice actor that really helped that out. He just sounds and looks like a condescending weasel that you just want to punt.
You're done with it. Now you see, that's the type of hijinks I'm looking to avoid.
The other ogres were fun to see, and while I don't remember any of their names, I know that Craig Robinson is the Chimichanga guy, which is kind of a fun role for him. I think it was also interesting to see Puss and Donkey in a different way. Puss changed more than Donkey, and they definitely did not miss an opportunity to use the cute face. And it sounds stupid, but I'm still a sucker for a cute, fat, fluffy cat. While some people tend to write off Shrek after the second one, and while that's reasonable, I think that this fourth one has a lot of missed appreciation. Yeah, it wasn't great at the box offices, and the marketing was just on crack, so it was kind of hard to take anything seriously, but for what it's worth, I did enjoy it. So, to give a kind send off to Shrek and his beloved franchise, I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. That might seem a little low, but I still think it's better than people say it is. Well, that's going to be my review for Shrek Forever After. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, stay tuned for more movie reviews in the future, and until then, I will see you guys all later.